Hey you guys, happy Thursday. We are back with a microflow. I have been so busy. I've gotten away from a lot of things here with business, with microflow videos, with connecting with you all here. And so I'm coming back. So it's nice to be back. And I was trying to think what we should do today. Should we do like a little workout segment, a little pole move tutorial, some stretching flexibility, or even like a healthy cooking thing, which I like doing sometimes because we're all about like taking care of ourselves, movement, sensuous movement, what have you. And then I always fall back to stretching flexibility. That's like my obsession. And so I thought, why don't we start with that? Okay, enough talking. So why don't we just start? I like starting standing up since we're already standing. I am anyway. So let's just have our feet like a sort of normal distance apart. And then check in with our bodies, relaxing the arms and the shoulders, but keeping the shoulders kind of back in like a nice posture. Checking in with the spine. Does it feel aligned? Does it need to straighten out a little bit? And relaxing the face and the gaze. Putting down the thoughts. And then raising our arms overhead. Slowly. And let's do a gentle stretch of the body here. And then let's drop the arms to our side. And then now we're going to hinge forward at the waist into like a tabletop. And we can pause here for a few moments. And then release and let your torso hang. And stretching out like the whole back side of our legs. And then slowly easing back up into standing position. And let's do some shoulder work. My right shoulder is kind of feeling it. I kind of pulled it recently, so I'm going to take extra good care of it. So let's do this stretch, which I love, just taking 1 or 2 fingers to the top of your head, like this, and then taking 1 or 2 fingers on your other hand and touching your shoulder on the same side, and then like slowly pulling apart. And then you can sort of move your head, like tilt it forward at like a diagonal, like looking down at that foot. And then now let's do the other side. And then now tilting our head down at like a diagonal, looking down at the foot on your other side. And whenever you're ready, you can just release and we'll move into the next thing. And any of these stretches obviously take however much time you need. Let's see, what should we do? Let's do some like big, slow arm circles. So let's do a couple to the back. And then forward. Okay, so why don't we move down to the ground? I'm gonna just check the phone really fast. Sometimes I like to just double check that things are still going. Yes, we're good. Okay, this is like an old school stretch of mine that I used to share on here quite regularly. But so we're doing kind of like this like standing lunge kind of thing. So hands on your hips if you like. I have my right leg forward and my front leg is kind of bent, and then back leg is, my left leg is behind me, and I'm keeping the hips like facing forward, and then I'm sort of wiggling. You can see how this feels for you. I'm sort of like wiggling my back foot so that I can adjust, so that I feel a little stretch on the hip flexor here. And this is like a nice little balance exercise too. And then carefully, I'm telling myself, switch sides. Okay, so let's make our way down to the mat, actually on the mat or the ground, whatever you're on. We can kneel. This is like a little stretch I like to do on the feet. So I don't know if you can see. So we're kneeling and I'm like sitting on my heels, and then now I'm going to place my hands behind me to like catch myself as like my knees lift up. I'm sort of like teetering on the tops of my feet. And then you can like gently, slowly roll around on the top of your feet. And then we can ease off of our feet, and then now lean forward and just rest your wrists on the ground in front of you. So my fingers are like pointing towards my knees and my palms are up, if that makes sense. wrists. And then lifting up off of our hands, you can shake it out. So let's bring our legs in front of us, and we're just gonna like sit. And bring your leg into like a figure four. So I have my right leg bent and like my foot is resting on the inside of my left leg. And then just bring your torso forward, however far you would like, so that we feel a stretch in the back of this left leg. And when you're ready, ease up out of that and let's switch legs. So straightening out the right leg and then bending the left leg and then hinging forward. You can check out your pedicure like I'm doing. And then sitting back up. And then straightening out both legs and then bending the right leg, or whichever, bending one leg and then stepping over the straight leg. And then now twisting towards that bent leg, and you can hook your elbow onto this knee like this. And then kind of, I think of straightening out my spine. I think of if my spine was like a string and someone was pulling the string up above my head. Something like that. And now gently twist, looking over this way. And I know it's so easy to skip stretching. Like I hear all the time, I've been doing it myself. I used to stretch like every day, no matter what, but these days, not so often, or not every day, but still pretty regularly. But I know it's so easy to skip, but if we stretch together, it's easier to do. Okay, now let's switch sides with that little twist. hear my back like popping. And then let's face forward again, straightening out the legs. And then now let's do like a final little stretch, like hinging forward at the waist. I think these are no longer micro flows because they're not so micro. I think they're more like mini flows. But micro flow kind of has a ring to it. I don't know. Because when I first came up with like the idea of micro flows, I was thinking something literally like less than 5 minutes, but these videos are rarely under 5 minutes. Mini flow? What do we think of that? Okay, so you can ease out of that whenever you're ready. You can give yourself a little hug. Thank you for joining me. It's so nice to be back. Please take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.